What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the 30-gallon Triton method chaeto reactor test build. And in this video we're actually going to be adding an ATO to the system. I'll show you guys the whole process, exactly what it is, how I set it up, and the ATO reservoir I've decided to go with. I'm also going to be adding 1 gallon of the MarinePure spheres to the back of the tank to add to the biological filtration for the system. And I'll show you guys what they look like at day 1 as well as day 30 and some of the things that I've done to the system to cut down on the detritus getting into that section of the sump. Either way, let's go ahead and get into this build with the ATO. All right, now because this is a test build and we're trying new lights, different types of reactors, all that kind of stuff, we're going to go ahead and try a different type of ATO system, something I've never used before, but I've heard good things about it, and that is the Smart Micro ATO. And I will say right off the bat, it's very simple to put together. It literally took 2 minutes. Just take everything out of the packages, connect it, put it in the sump. It's that easy. Now, would it work for a bigger tank? I don't see why it wouldn't. I guess it would really depend on how long it would take for it to actually fill up to get back to the water level in the sump. But it works great for this 30-gallon in the back of the tank there because it is an all-in-one, and it literally takes about 2 seconds for it to fill up. Now, one thing I really do like about this ATO is if your system goes dry or, you know, whatever, you just run out of water in your ATO reservoir and it's no longer able to put water into the tank, it will sound an alarm and flash red, and it's pretty obnoxious. So if you're not getting topped off for any period of time, it will let you know so you can get back there and add water to your reservoir. Some of the things I really like about this ATO is the optical eye. Of course, not having mechanical parts that salt creep can get on there, snails, all that kind of stuff is a good thing. Basically, all you have to worry about is keeping that eye clean, and if it's in a good part of the sump where you're not getting detritus all the time or it's after mechanical filtration, you won't have to worry about that in the long run. Now, what's really good about this system, as I mentioned, that if there's not enough water in the ATO reservoir and it can't fill up, it will sound an alarm, and vice versa. If the pump is on too long, I've noticed that it will also sound an alarm and not continue to fill up. So those are 2 fail safes that are really awesome. And when it comes to an ATO system, you need to make sure that it's not going to fail on the on position, and you want to be notified if you don't have enough water in your reservoir. So having those built into a system that costs less than $100, you really can't ask for much more than that. All right, moving on to the ATO reservoir, I decided to go with a 2.5 gallon tank that I picked up at Petco, and I believe it was like $14 or something like that. And it's one of those tanks that's not included in the $1 per gallon sale, so it is what it is. Either way, I went ahead and got a piece of acrylic, cut it to size, and of course added the little lip there, the same thing I have on the ATO system for the 200 gallon. It just simply allows me to remove the cover and have the hoses coming in and out of the reservoir. Now, I like to put those covers on there because I have children who like to put stuff inside tanks that are just kind of sitting open there, as well as it cuts out on any dust or anything like that getting into the reservoir. All right, so let's go to move over to the optical eye installation. As you guys can see here, it moves freely in the back. The magnet is pretty strong, and I'm not worried about it falling off. Now, would I use it on a 1/2-inch glass or something like that? No, probably not. It probably wouldn't stick very well. But for any of your normal DIY tanks, like your 40 breeders or your 20-gallon longs or something like that you'd use for a DIY custom sump, there's no issues. It will definitely stick on that, and you won't have to worry about it falling off. Now, one thing you do want to make sure is when you're adding that return line that you have it up high enough that you won't cause any kind of back siphon. Now, I worried about that early on. I made a mistake, and it actually back siphoned just a tiny bit of water. I was like, oh, got to fix that. So just go ahead and make sure that that return line is above the water, and that is including when you turn off the system, how high it rises in the back there. Just make sure it's higher than that so you're not pulling any salt water into your ATO reservoir. But other than that, guys, I really like this ATO system. I'll give you guys an update on it in about 6 to 8 months and kind of see how it turns out. All right, now that we've finished installing the ATO, let's go to move over to the MarinePure spheres. Now, this is my first time using the spheres. I've always used the MarinePure blocks or cut them up to kind of make them fit in whatever sump or application that I have going on. So I wanted to try these spheres just in the spirit of trying new things for the system. And I will say they're much easier to use when you're in a tight place. So if you are considering having an all-in-one or something like that, like this system, definitely the MarinePure spheres will be a good option for you, better than cutting up the blocks and kind of making them fit. But either way, you definitely want to go ahead and rinse these off real quick and make sure that you get all that dust off before adding them to the system. And as you guys can see here, they look pretty clean on day 1, but unfortunately 30 days later, they got really dirty from just the generic feeding of the tank with the mysis, the crap, and all the kind of stuff that goes on. Now, I'm not really too concerned with it right now because I caught it earlier, so I went ahead and added this little sponge filter to help catch all that detritus in that particular section. Now, does it work? Absolutely. Is it a pain in the butt to clean every few days? Yes, but it does keep the detritus out of the MarinePure spheres. Now, the reason why I'm concerned about keeping the detritus out of there is on the 200-gallon frag system, I actually ran into an issue with some of my older MarinePure blocks. They were just getting clogged, and they got very, very dirty, and they started turning into a nutrient sink. So if you are going to use MarinePure, try to keep it after the mechanical filtration to catch all that stuff so it doesn't clog the pores of the rock and just cause issues in the long term. Now, we're always looking at long-term success, so setting yourself up for that early on is the best option. But other than that, guys, the MarinePure spheres worked out great. I have them all in the left section because I did add a protein skimmer to the right section, which you guys will see in the next video, and we'll do a whole walkthrough on that. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions about this system, please let me know. I will have a 2-month update on this tank for you guys within the next couple weeks, so stay tuned. Either way, if you have any questions about the live streams or anything like that, please let me know in the comment section below. I've been getting a lot of stuff regarding Wednesday night, and yes, I'm still doing the live streams. I'm still doing all that stuff. If you want to be a Patreon to be a part of those live streams, check out the link in the description below. But if you just have questions for that live stream, please email them to me, but then title them Wednesday night live stream so I can kind of decipher and filter out all the emails that come in. All right. Either way, guys, that's enough rambling for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.